Hafez mentioned the word disintegration. The concept of composting music has a lot to do with that. The composers that he has selected, those fragments disintegrate. Even Hafez's compositional efforts disintegrate in the act of performance, and in fact our personalities individually disintegrate when we come together to play music together. And so what happens is a breakdown, a disintegration, and a new growth from that. And I think that that's a key concept in the whole piece tonight, in Convergence Liberation, because all of us coming from many different backgrounds are colliding and disintegrating and allowing new growth to come from that. So it's like a little capsule of what will happen, throughout the entire evening.
Let me ask you this: is there a good and a bad way, or a better way to play this material? You've got collages of all these things all over the page. You must have come up with a strategy to make it interesting. What did you do?
Well, I would say the only bad way to play it would be not to make it your own. Not to really allow that material to absorb into your musical personality. It's funny because just last night we were talking about physics and the idea that in one model of the universe, the inflation model, you can be looking, depending where you are, you could be looking at a universe from the outside, which appears to be a finite amount of space, but if you are inside that universe, you experience the space as infinite. And I think when you're looking on the page, when you're looking at a series, the way this is like a collage of fragments, and it looks very finite, but when we're inside the music, it is infinite. And so I can't answer, is there a good way to do it, because I really think there are an infinite number of ways to do it.
That's a great question, because I thought about, of course it takes practice, and it would seem at first that the first piece of the evening, musicians could underestimate this. Oh well, I just improvise off these fragments. But there's a level of trust involved, and certainly a sensitivity, and also familiarity with the material. So but also just a practice in the interlockingness. Yes, so I would say that it's actually a discipline to find that kind of approach, when usually we're heeding the composer's laws or rules, or conductors. In this case, there's no composer and there's no conductor, so it's infinite from within.